It's Tuesday, March 11th. This is an end of the day SPY recap. And today on the daily chart, we end up with another two down red bar that took out the low of the previous day. We had a red day from yesterday to start the week. The open, he's here at the purple line. We stayed below that. And after seeing this red day, kind of expected those lows to be tested as long as we didn't have some kind of gap up and strong opening price action above the midpoint of this bar, looking for a two up reversal to, on Tuesday. So instead we opened up a little lower and not surprising, we took out the lows of the day, and then we just sort of paused a little bit. We're at exhaustion risk in the very short run. You can see it's down, 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 down. So nothing is surprising in terms of even within a downtrend, you could either get a pause like this, you can get a little bit of a reversal for a few days. But overall, what we're looking at here, if I really go back again to the monthly chart, and this is now we're mid-month, so there's plenty of time to go in this chart. Obviously, we're strongly red. Is it possible maybe we have a, where is it here, like this type of bar where we're strongly red, and by the end of the month, we have a little buying tail and then start the next month green above the open? That's certainly possible, but in this case, back here, we took out that pivot low, which was a key reversal area. It's not surprising the next month went up. Here, the more we get closer to the end of the month, the more it looks like even if we have a little bit of a buying tail, it's going to stay red. And it's possible that in the next couple of weeks, we can really, keep this looking solid red, which would mean you'd have a little bit of a, continuation below those lows into next month before possibly turning up. If this is just going to be a 1 month pullback in here, I need to see that weekly chart turn up at some point. And where is the target here to be turning up? It could have been these pivot lows, but it looks like, we're pretty strongly down. Of course, we have a few days to go in this week, but I don't really see it unfolding. And if we just want to come down, this target's down here. So it doesn't look like this weekly chart is really giving me a strong reversal up to kind of indicate we're just going to get a 1 month pullback, but it still remains to be seen. So I'm still watching this weekly chart and waiting for it to reverse up before, considering the fact that maybe we're starting back up again. And obviously, in the first 2 days of the week, we're below the open, and we don't have any weekly reversal. We could get a 2-up day tomorrow, come through the open. That could be, an interesting, maybe short-term buy, but you'd want to see how this weekly chart really closes. At this point, it's almost like you're going to have to get either a strong hammer bar that's green or, a 2 down, 2 up kind of bar. And even that, depending where it develops here on the monthly chart, might not have enough strength to really turn this into any kind of a reversal looking bar on the month. So next month you'd continue lower. In other words, if we do move up into next week, it's possible we kind of just fail and then have a pretty strong 2 down week eventually into April that goes even lower. So that's still in play. But in terms of then finally just the intraday structure, a very classic structure where we bought, there was a little move up to start the session, but we really were below the midpoint of the prior day, and you're expecting those lows to be tested. So we had the reversal down. I discussed how I bought puts here. It did take out the lows of the day. Really had a little pullback to the midpoint of the first bar, had a secondary red bar, a little follow through. So there's your secondary trade in the morning, 2 pushes down. And then when you see this green reversal bar and a little follow through, not surprising at all that all of a sudden momentum kicks in and you come all the way out, up, bar after bar after bar. You take out the pivot high, the intraday high and the pre-market highs, and then you reverse and you come down lower again to kind of keep this a red bar, but a little more neutral than previous bars. So again, in terms of the way I view structure, again, you kind of want to see where price takes you in 2 pushes, but in this case, it was just classic 1 push down, pause, 2nd push down. When you see this green reversal, again, it didn't have to come all the way up there, but you shouldn't be surprised that this type of thing could happen after 2 pushes down. It could have just came another orderly pullback and then started again, although you're not really anticipating that. And again, just not surprising that 2 pushes down directionally, that took out liquidity, intraday high and the pre-market highs before kind of rolling over right near the end of the day. So we end up with another red bar. Again, I'm not excited to buy if we get a 2 up, although anything's possible. We're a little bit of exhaustion risk on the downside, as you can see, as it kind of makes its directional continuation lower. It, the momentum tends to dry up a little bit, although in this case, pretty classic 2 pushes, so that was good. And we just got to stay to the sell side overall until this weekly chart turns up, which would mean this daily chart has to give me a 2 update tomorrow. So again, the best signals going forward, I still think, are going to be, given that this monthly chart is likely to still probably close red and will probably continue lower to next month, I'd still, at this point, almost like to see daily bars up here that fail to reach targets and then roll over to the downside. Just your classic pullback, continuation with the trend trade. Because it's just tricky to go momentum after momentum to the downside. So we'll kind of see what unfolds here, but that's the way I see it. Continuing down, today was a pretty classic day to take advantage of that in 2 pushes, and again, not to be surprised once it started up, it then wanted to rest a little bit and take out some liquidity to the upside. And that's all that price action was doing today. So let's see where things go for the rest of the week. And again, I'm still biased, obviously, to the downside overall, and we will just see if the momentum keeps it going bar after bar after bar. There's still targets here in the weekly chart down into this area down here as the rest of the week goes on. So even though it's big red weeks for 4 weeks in a row, there's still targets to head lower if it wants to.